What's up, guys? Welcome to week 50, I think it is, of Books Being Sick. I, in true form, have not checked where we're at, but we're here either way, so thanks for being here. Week 49, excuse me. We're not quite at 50, we're at week 49. I have some book stuff to share with you. We are about a week away from Christmas. It's December 19th today. Christmas, if you didn't know, is on the 25th. I've got a lot to do. I have so much to do. I am really behind. I think the kids are pretty much done, but I need to get Lindsay some nice things, and I don't know what to get because I suck at this. But this is how I roll every year. I wait until the very last moment and then go Christmas shopping because I like the chaos. I like bumping into fellow people that are sweating and running around like psychopaths trying to find presents. It's just it really puts me right back into the spirit of this holiday, and so I'm ready. Speaking of Christmas, speaking of movies, which I hadn't spoken of until now, what are your guys' favorite Christmas movies? Because there's one that came out last year that's kind of like a Christmas adjacent movie that I absolutely love. It's called The Holdovers, with Paul Giamatti and some other people. It's basically about a student, small group of students. I think it's like 4 or 5 people that have to stay behind for Christmas because, you know, their family, they don't really have families around, and there's a teacher that stays over the Christmas break with them to keep an eye on them, and it's just the best movie ever. It's sad, it's great, it's amazing. I really love it. It's beautifully shot. The Holdovers, really good. Really, yeah, watch it. I think it's on the internet or something. You can find it. So current reads, I am going to jump into real quick, just a quick sum up of The End of Loneliness, which is by Benedict Wells. This is a German book that has been translated by Charlotte Collins, and I think she did a phenomenal job because I absolutely love this book. It is a very sad one, but a very good one. I mentioned this on my socials, but if you are a fan of Stoner by John Williams, if you're a fan of any of the books that I recommend, you're really truly going to love this. It is it's a story basically of 3 siblings who lose their parents at a young age, and just their life then on, you know, and where they go, what happens, how they stay connected, how they drift apart, how they still care for one another, and how they grow basically without their parents. And it's beautiful, and it's heartbreaking, funny at times, and it's like, it's all the things. It really is great though. It's only, just over 200 pages, I think, 230. So, might take you like 4 hours, 5 hours, well worth your time. It is really fantastic. Also, if you can find, I believe it's the German cover, it's a black and white photo of like 2 people embracing. I feel like it sums up the feeling of this book a lot better than this cover does. I'm not a huge fan of this cover, but the original one is fantastic. However, the book is great. Definitely check it out. I don't know where it's going to land on my list. I'm currently trying to figure out what my top 10 books of the year are, because we're at the end of the year. So next week, next week's video, I'll have my top 10 picks, and 1, 2, 3, 4, I think are pretty much solidified, and they're probably not going to be all that surprising. But it's when you get into like 5 to 10 where it's, it's a little more dicey. Like, oh, which one's really would I really truly put in there? And I really want to like think about it and make good decisions, because I don't want to just be like, I want it to be good. I've read some amazing books this year, so I think it's going to be a fun list. Anyways, The End of Loneliness, Benedict Wells. Again, if you like any of my recommendations, you'll love this. It is really that good. Moving on. I can't breathe through my nose right now because I just never can. Can you guys breathe through your nose ever? I can't. I can never breathe through my nose. I think I have one of those like deviated whatevers. And, I should probably have like a CPAP machine or something like that. But I did get a humidifier that will hopefully help. It's currently behind my head here on a table. And also I got this stuff called like Flonase that I think you might, I don't know. We'll see. I gotta get this looked at. It's been a lifelong problem, and I'm just like, whatever. So anyways, okay, so moving on. Current read. What I ended up doing here, guys, is I could feel myself entering a mini slump not an aggressive slump, not a month-long slump or anything like that, but I did finish The End of Loneliness after trying to get into a whole bunch of different books and was just kind of like, oh my gosh, I'm just not really feeling any of these. I don't know what's going on. Then I found The End of Loneliness, loved it. But now, same thing. I've probably started and stopped about 4 or 5 books over the past week. And not that they're bad. I know they're good books, but I'm just having a hard time zoning into a book that I really want to read right now. That could be a case of the not having a TBR not really working for me. But that said, what I ended up deciding I was going to do is I went to a bookstore yesterday and I was like, I'm going to keep this exciting. I'm going to find a fresh book that I don't own, and that is going to be the book that I read. I'm going to commit to it, and it's going to be fun because it's always so fun when you go to a bookstore and you're actually going to start reading the book you pick out that day. Really adds a new layer of fun to book shopping. And so that's what I did. I spent an hour and a half at the bookstore because, the kids are going to be on break starting tomorrow. And so this was like one of the last days of the year where I could actually get out and just really take my time. So that's what I did. And this is the book I ended up picking out. Sorry I'm being so long-winded here. It's this one here. It just came out on paperback. I believe it just came out on paperback anyways. And it is Demon Copperhead by Barbara, I keep calling her Barbara Kingslayer. Barbara Kingsolver is this one here. I've heard such phenomenal things about this book, and I saw it there, and I see it every single time I do go to the bookstore, any bookstore. It's always highlighted. It's always kind of showcased, and I have heard just phenomenal things about this book. It's not a short book by any stretch, and you might think, you're in a slump, read a short book so that you can get through one, and I would usually agree with that, but I don't know, I was kind of feeling something with a little bit more weight to it, and so I picked out this one. Not at all what I was expecting. For some reason, I have no idea why. I thought, I just assumed this was a fantasy book, and that might be because of the cover. There's a whole bunch of different things going on the cover. The title, Demon Copperhead, which I guess is a snake. I don't really know. But no, it's the story of a boy born to a teenage single mother in a single wide trailer with no assets beyond his dead father's good looks and copper-colored hair. Caustic wit, and a fierce talent for survival. This is actually right up my alley, as it turns out. So I can't wait. I read the first couple chapters yesterday, and it's the writing is amazing so far. Right, again, just totally for me. I love stories like this. I love. So yeah, Demon Copperhead's my book right now, and I'm gonna aim to get that finished by next week so that I'll have a review for you guys on Demon Copperhead. It's so far phenomenal. And she also wrote what's that other book? Poisonwood Bible? I think Poisonwood Bible is the other book that she wrote, and I've heard that's really, really good as well, and I own that one, but I'm doing this one, and then we'll see how it goes, and then maybe I'll get into Poisonwood Bible. I don't really know. So that's where I'm at with reading. Now, let's get to book club, because as you may or may not know, what I did for our January book. So what I do for the Sick Book Club, there's a link below if you want to join. It's $5 a month. It's really fun. It's the best thing you'll ever do. It's really great. It helps me out. I love you. And what we do is I put together a poll every month where the members vote on which book is going to be our next book club book. And this time around, I wrote all of these books on all these little pieces of paper because I had Patreon members throw in one book. I put them all into a hat, picked out 10 at random. The list of 10 was really, really random. I believe I shared it last week. At least I think I did. If I didn't, I'll let you know what it was real quick, because we have a winner and we know what our January book is going to be, so I can share that with you. So the 10 books that it was 15 books were Missborne, Gravity's Rainbow, Orbital, Misery, Last of the Mohicans, Neuromancer, At the Mountains of Madness, Children of Time, The Hike, My Brilliant Friend, Crossroads, Hyperion, Julia, Mad Honey, and The Sword of Kaigan. Now, what I did was took the top 5, threw them back into a hat, and drew one at random. So the 5 that went back into the hat were Missborne, Orbital, Misery, The Hike, and The Sword of Kaigan. And the book that got pulled out of the hat, the book that is going to be the Sick Book Club's January book that I'm very, very excited about, it's a book I've already read, so I can confidently say it is amazing, is Missborne. This book here, Missborne by Brandon Sanderson. I'm so pumped because it is so good, and it is such a great book to start out with for Brandon Sanderson. There's a lot of people in the book club that I think are just starting their Brandon Sanderson journey, and also a lot of people that are just starting their fantasy journey. And I honestly can't think of a better book to start with. Missborne is so fun, so engaging, so exciting, and so understandable, which was my favorite thing about it when I first read it, because I was a little nervous right off the bat. Like, am I gonna know what's going on here? Is this going to be super confusing? Not at all. Absolutely loved it. Read all three, The Well of Ascension and The Hero of Ages. And don't let the titles confuse you. The first book is called The Final Empire, which The Final Empire is kind of a strange name for book one. You would assume that might be book three, but no, it's book one. If you want to join, the link is down below. We're reading Missborne in January. I cannot friggin' wait. It's been actually quite a while since I've read this, about 2 years. So I'm looking forward to getting back in there, back into that world. Back with Sazed. Sazed is a character in this series that I absolutely love. One of my favorite literary characters ever. So I'm excited for people to experience it. It's a fun book, It's a book that I think is going to be a lot of fun to talk about. So that is what happened with that. Moving on. I was going to let you guys know, we're in the crunch here, as I mentioned, for Christmas. There's not much time left. But if you're looking for like little stocking stuffers or just little extra nice little presents to tuck under there for book lovers in your life, I can't recommend these enough. These are the Penguin Classics, these kind of cloth bound books. They are just so pretty and so nice. You've seen these. They're at every bookstore. They are just, I'm always excited to get these. I don't ever really read them, but I just love them. They always have the little like page keeper string. They're just nice little books, and I like them a lot. This is The Picture of Dorian Gray, which is a classic, which I was also going to mention. If you have a book lover in your life, buying them a classic edition of any classic book, ding ding, is never a bad idea, because I know for me, even if it's a classic book I already own, I'm always excited to get new copies or like different copies of them, because they're just more collectible and they're just kind of nice. Classic books are just nice, Yeah, so that would be another option. And also, I was going to say, if you can find this, if you have like a horror fan in your life or a Stephen King fan, these new editions of The Shining are so pretty. This cover is so awesome. I really, really love this. The screaming guy back there. It's Christmassy too. The cover is very, very Christmassy. They also have a new one for Salem's Lot that's really pretty as well. You can find these at most bookstores. I would be psyched to get that. I don't know. And these are just like easy little pickups. The other thing you could do is try to go thrifting. Again, if you really know the person that you're buying for and feel confident in that, it's a riskier move because you're not always going to find cool things, but finding a cool old vintage edition of a book they love is a fun way to go. I would say, go Folio Society, go, there are some great bookmakers out there, but being that it's December 19th, probably not going to get it in time, so I might not recommend that right now. Okay, so moving on. I didn't really have a whole lot else to talk about. A bit of a shorter one this week. I'm losing my voice really badly right now, and I gotta keep it because there's so much to do in the next week. I can't lose this thing. YouTube Shorts, I wanted to mention, is something that I knew about, but I've never really used, actually. So YouTube Shorts announced that they can now be 3 minutes long, which is a huge bonus for me because most of my social media videos are over a minute long, and before it was 60 seconds or bust. So now I'm going to be posting a bunch of older stuff on YouTube Shorts, and then it'll eventually be caught up to current stuff. So I'm excited about that. I think that's all I had to talk about, really, I guess. Look at me go. All right. We're at, 13 minutes. I don't know. That's not bad, right? Right, guys? So next week is week 50. Holy crap, 50 weeks in a row. We're almost at a full year. So exciting. Thank you for being here for the journey. It's going to continue on. I've had a few people ask me once you're done the year, are you is that it? No. I'm going to keep going for the foreseeable future. I really love doing this. The initial challenge was just to make it a year. And now that we're here, it's become kind of a staple in my life. So I'm going to keep doing it, whether people watch or not. So thank you for watching. Again, if you want to join the Patreon/book club, it's the same thing. The book club is hosted on Patreon. The Patreon has a whole bunch of other stuff. The link is down below. So sorry that I mention it so often. It's just kind of one of the only ways as a Canadian to kind of keep me going. So I do appreciate it. Sweaters are, if you ordered a sweater, they are currently on my main floor. I will be shipping those up today and tomorrow and the next day. And yeah, just, I hope you have a great day, and I hope you're reading really good books, and reading is really fun, and I love you. I gotta shop. Okay, bye.